Hi everybody. Hello, hello. Phone looks so much darker. I wanted to talk about how a healer can heal their family and themselves, because I feel that the hardest thing in the world is being someone that helps other people all the time. But when it comes to yourself and your family, you just are so emotionally involved that you can't react quickly to get the answers, whether that is that you receive it divinely from guides or psychically. I've learned that it was hard for me because I wanted to keep integrity and personal responsibility in mind, and so I didn't want to give a family member my view or my opinion if my emotions were involved in the outcome or perhaps even in the situation. And I think a lot of people say, well, healers have it easier because they're healers. Indeed, I feel sometimes it can be the total opposite, just because we are so sensitive to other people's emotions. We're sensitive like that to our loved ones, and not only are we sensitive to our loved ones' situations, but we are courted with them. So we are receiving that situation and the energy that comes with that situation. So what I have found to do in those situations, because honestly for me, the hardest part for me in this world, I could tell you, has been the pain of a parent or a child, or my brothers, my sisters, my nieces, my nephews, of the people that I love the most. It cripples me sometimes, and I just get, in a place of definitely having a brain fart. I'm being goofy, but it feels that way. Like I want to know what to do, and I freeze up because my emotions are involved. And so what I feel that I do that has helped me is the spiritual hygiene, because I know, and I'm intelligent enough to understand that relative or no relative, it's all about frequency. An emotion is a frequency. So when I think of spiritual hygiene and what I give others, and not to forget to give that to myself or to my family members, I blend that with the emotion. Emotions are so powerful. Emotions are so powerful, guys, man. If you don't if you don't heal an emotion, it will define you. It will keep coming to your thought through your subconscious mind until you figure out a way to release it, which is why sometimes you hear people say, man, I don't know why I'm getting these outcomes, because I'm a good person and I do right by people and I'm an honest individual, but my outcomes in life are so shitty. That's because there could be something from their childhood that is bringing those type of situations. For example, if you lived in a home such as myself where there was abuse, I always said, I'm not going to be in an abusive situation. My poor mom dealt with it for 18 years. Then prior to that, even with my grandma, right? But I said, well, I'm not going to be that person. I'm going to be the opposite of what I saw my mom. Well, guess what? That didn't work well for me, because the very first relationship that I got into got abusive. The second relationship that I got into got abusive. Until I truly, really said, you know what? I want to be by myself. That's going to be the solution for myself. I really need to work on myself. I need to work on what hurt me in life. What hurt me is jumping in the middle while my dad's hitting my mom and getting kicked across the room. I always say that because that was a memory that a shaman retrieved for me and gave me my power back, because I lost some of my power from that, because I felt powerless. I felt like I couldn't help my mom all the way. And the only way was to get physically involved, right? So that emotion sat with me until I released it, until someone helped me to release it. And I didn't even think about that. I would have never thought in a million years that would have been something that was keeping fear in my being and who I am. But it was. And so when I think of spiritual hygiene, I think, okay, emotions paralyze us. Emotions define us. Emotions, even as a healer, paralyzes us. So we want to focus on the emotion, guys, and the way that you can do it is frequency, through frequency music. Let's say I have something called the emotional frequency healing technique that I have my students go through, and they're like, why are you making me sit with fear and grief and anger? You know, this is silly. And it does seem silly, but it really isn't silly at all. It really is saying, I want to be me before the pain. I want to be me before the pain. And so when you take that frequency that exists in that emotion and you change the frequency of it by changing the frequency in your auric field, in the matter, what's the matter with you? What's the matter with you? We say, what's the matter with you all the time. We don't even understand how brilliant that question is, because matter is what exists in our aura. And if that matter is too dense, that is when we don't feel, we become numb. And even as mediums, when we begin to develop, and this is my philosophy, and I don't have all the answers, I can only tell you my experience. I have a lot to learn and a lot to grow through, because the spirit world is amazing and beautiful, and once I get there, I'll know exactly what happens over there. But I can only tell you based on my experience that when a person decides to step into this type of work and there's pain, they have to soften the aura. And how do you think that happens? That happens by healing. It happens by releasing those emotions that are so dense that you're not even realizing that they're there. So if you're a healer and it's hard to heal those that you love, and you're going through something, because people think the total opposite, that it's easier, and indeed it's not, where you're just somebody that wants to heal a loved one and you're hitting dead ends, you know, make an aura mist. You know, first and foremost, let's talk about the frequency of white light. It's free to everybody. The God in me is the God in you. Visualization, intention is action. Is action. Inaction equals anxiety. When you know something's happening and you're not doing anything about it, of course you're going to get anxiety, because it's existing and it's becoming you every second that it's sitting in your work field, and you're knowing that it is not you, and you're knowing that you're detached from yourself, and you're reacting a way that you would never react. When that starts to happen, guys, it means you should really sit however way you want to sit and cleanse your mind, your body, and your soul. You can do that for free with white light. Visualize white light cleansing your body, as above, so below, coming down, and really taking in that spirit, that oneness, that power, and allowing it to be you, and have a meditation where you're self-reflecting on what it is that is happening to you at that moment. That's the first thing. That's the biggest thing you can sit and really, really, truly use. You know, a lot of us don't realize that as spiritual beings, our children will be spiritual, our nieces, our nephews, our family members will be spiritual, hence which is why you are connected to them, whether you're their parent, their aunt, whatever position that you fall in their life. And so I try to remember, okay, Lillian, you know, tell them to ground, become the tree. They crack up at me. They think I'm completely nuts, the kids in my family. They really do. But I don't care. You know, I know it's for the best and greatest good of who they are. And so I definitely embrace it. And I tell them, look, guys, it takes a second. When you're brushing your teeth, visualize a tree. Become the roots in the ground and the leaves in the sky. Now, will that make you a medium or psychic? You don't need any of that to be a medium or psychic. You have the sensitivity to connect with spirit, you're going to connect with spirit. You have the sensitivity to connect with people's emotions, you're going to connect with people's emotions. Let me confirm that. At least in my philosophy, yeah, you don't need these things. But you know what? We are still human beings with a magnetic field around us. And in that magnetic field is where we hold the power. And when we hold the power, it is using our electrolytes in our body. It is. It's a fact. That's a fact. So you want to give back what you're losing. You want to ground yourself. You want to stay hydrated, you know. Why do you think it is too? It doesn't matter. That's us doing the work and holding the emotions of the visiting spirit that's coming in to share that memory with us. But when you are going through an emotional situation in your life, it's the same thing. You feel tired, lethargic, fatigued. You're dehydrated. Why do you think that is? Because now that frequency of that emotion is so loud within you that it is using up your energy. It is using up your electrolytes. It is affecting your potassium, your magnesium. So this that I'm speaking is not only if you're a healer or a reader, and it's my philosophy. When my students start to develop, the very first phase is, all right, what are you doing for yourself as a person that's going to allow you to be able to be a person that is keeping up with their personal life and keeping up with their spiritual life. You know, are you grounding? Are you shielding? You know, are you aware of the auric field? Are you aware of chakras? Do you need this to be a medium? You don't need it to be a medium. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is we are still spiritual beings with the spirit body. Period, point blank. Without the physical body, it would be very difficult to do anything in the spirit realm. Okay? So, for me, it is very important to give what I give to everybody else, to myself, and also, obviously, to the people that I love. You guys can do that simply by making an aura mist. You know me, I love Florida water cologne. You can get it on Amazon. Brilliant, fantastic. If you're Catholic, put a little bit of blessed water in there. If you're not Catholic, you know, put some water out under the full moon. And the first night of the full moon, bring it in the next morning. And put some in a spray bottle with some Florida water. Voila. Use it once a week for the corners of your home. You know, use it to mist your aura. Use it for your children. And that's another thing too, you know. Everybody's different. Everybody's going through some sort of emotion that's different. It's not the same. You know, look at everybody for the individual that they are, you know. I have 5 kids, and it hurts me so much when I can't take the pain away, but I'm not supposed to. It's part of their journey. But I can definitely give them what I give everybody else. And that is, you know, the tools that I use to keep myself going. You know, as a healer and a reader, you need to leave your shit in the parking lot. And you need to come into that reading detached from your thoughts, your emotions, and whatever you're going through that day, to be fair and have integrity and keep personal responsibility in mind. So, you know, if you are somebody that really cares and is in the right place when you're reading. So what you could do is, again, do an aura mist, walk on grass barefoot, earthing. Earthing is the best. Earthing is the best to bring yourself back to your normal energetic state. Lean your back against the tree. Walk on grass barefoot. Do a salt scrub. Put some Epsom salt, sea salt, and baking soda in a bucket. Put your feet in there. Keep it in there for 15 minutes. That costs almost nothing. That costs almost nothing. Nothing, guys. Okay? That will help you to feel that the biomagnetics of your body are more balanced. You're feeling better. You're feeling better. And that's important. So when you are somebody, again, that is a healer and you can't, you know, really be involved, but you want to help a family member, look at the things you do to maintain your physical and spiritual harmony. And you can, you know, give that. Because you will find yourselves in situations sometimes where really, truly, you don't have the answers because you're too sad about it or you're too involved. Palo Santo is amazing to use. Sage, amazing to use. Okay, so all these things, you find what works for you, and you know, keep yourself where you need to be. And remember to deal with your emotions. Don't be afraid. Check in with your emotions, you know. Sit with yourself. Open up your aura and just feel what you feel. And if it hurts, and say it hurts and cry about it. But really visit it and process it. Because if you don't, it will continue to come to the surface and continue to exist within your auric field, attracting things perhaps that you do not want. Because life is like an echo. Sound clearing is really good, Deidre. I love it. Tuning forks, sound bowls, again, because what that does, guys, what does it do? It changes the frequency. Figure out what changes the frequency. What is the matter with you? Figure out the frequency around you and change it if you're not happy with who you are or the outcomes that you're receiving. Whether that is through a spiritual bath, a sound bath, whether that is through whatever it is that you feel that you are attracted to use in your practice with yourself. Because again, being a healer is very important to stay authentic and true to who you are, but also be realistic that we're not going to always have the answers, especially when it comes. Happy birthday, Hope! Woo! Especially when it comes to, right, your family members. I'm not always going to have the answers. It doesn't work that way. So I just wanted to talk about that because, you know, one of the worst things for me is really not being able to to take away the pain that a child of mine has, or anybody in life, but more so a child. And I really sometimes get stuck with that, and then I say, no. Just be open and use the tools until you have processed the emotion. Accept the emotion and process the emotion and give them tools to use, So I hope this helps you. I hope you don't have to be a healer either. If you look up sound therapy, look up aromatherapy, look up things that will change the frequency in your home and help to deal with those emotions, because I'll tell you what, emotions are a very, very big factor in anything in this world. Depression, sadness, happiness, it has to do with everything and every outcome in our lives. Don't be afraid to sit there and to really truly say if something hurts. It hurts and it sucks, and I wish I wasn't in this situation. Okay, you've established that, but don't stay there. And if you feel that emotionally and mentally you can't come out of it and you're feeling a little stuck, go to a singing bowl circle, or go to a clear a sound therapy in some sort of way that's something different, or get an oil diffuser and diffuse oils. Lemongrass is a wonderful one to have in your home at all times. So again, I hope this conversation reaches whoever it needs to reach. Where there's a will, there's a way, and you don't have to be a healer to feel stuck when you're dealing with the emotions of your loved ones. But I definitely want you to know that you can do it. Breathe, but you are still a human being that needs to process the emotions yourself. So if you're giving the tools of sound therapy, aromatherapy, color therapy, foot detox, Himalayan salt is wonderful to have in little bowls around your house. Again, balancing the frequency, it does make a difference. It really, truly does. Find what routine works for you and don't let it go. Okay? All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining me. I'm almost to the center, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye for now.